For 210 passengers on Air India flight AI-171 February 17, 2023, was supposed to be just another journey from Dubai to Cochin. The Boeing 777 began its descent, Kerala's green landscape below. The cabin was calm, until a sudden shudder and a change in the engine's tone broke the routine. The captain's voice came over the intercom, calm but urgent. There was a technical issue and landing would be delayed. Passengers exchanged anxious glances as the plane entered a holding pattern, circling above the airport. Details were scarce, fueling speculation and fear. In the cockpit, the pilots faced a nightmare. The landing gear wouldn't deploy. An emergency was declared. On the ground, fire trucks and ambulances rushed to the runway. The familiar end-of-flight routine was gone, replaced by uncertainty and dread. The aircraft circled, each loop a reminder that safety was still out of reach. The captain's updates were brief, designed to keep panic at bay. But the truth was clear, something was very wrong. The pilots worked through emergency checklists, searching for a solution. The passengers waited, every minute stretching longer. Below, the airport braced for a possible disaster. The flight that should have ended with reunions was now the center of a full-scale emergency response. The outcome was uncertain. The only certainty, this was no longer a routine descent. The crisis was a hydraulic failure. One of the Boeing 777's key systems was compromised. The first attempt to lower the landing gear failed. The pilots turned to the backup system, no luck. With both primary and alternate systems down, only the manual release remained. This last resort method bypasses hydraulics and electronics, relying on gravity to drop the gear. The pilots pulled the handles and waited. Agonizing seconds passed. Finally, confirmation the gear was down and locked. But the hydraulic issue meant other systems like steering and braking could be affected. The crew performed a low pass over the runway for a visual check from the ground. Confirmation came the gear was extended. One last circle, then the final approach. The aircraft was still wounded, but a landing was now possible. Every step was methodical, every decision critical. The margin for error was razor thin. The pilots prepared for a landing that could still go wrong. The fate of everyone on board hung in the balance. Relief at landing quickly gave way to tough questions. How did a modern airliner end up in such peril? Investigators pored over maintenance logs and found a troubling pattern. The aircraft had a history of hydraulic issues, low pressure warnings, recurring leaks. Maintenance crews topped up fluid but never fixed the root cause. A faulty pressure switch masked the true extent of the problem. The plane was repeatedly cleared for service despite known vulnerabilities. The investigation revealed a breakdown in safety culture. Warnings in the logbooks were ignored. This was not just a technical failure, but a human and systemic one. The pressure to keep planes flying led to shortcuts. The incident exposed a dangerous imbalance between efficiency and safety. The chain of negligence had many links. The emergency was years in the making. It was a disaster waiting to happen. In the air, a different story unfolded, one of professionalism under pressure. The pilots were the last line of defense. When systems failed, they relied on training and teamwork. Crew resource management, clear communication, task sharing, and calm decision-making was on full display. One pilot flew, the other worked through emergency procedures. Their choice to perform a low pass for a visual check was a crucial, safety-first move. Every action was deliberate, every risk weighed. Their skill and composure turned a potential catastrophe into a safe landing. All 210 lives were saved. The contrast with the failures on the ground was stark. The pilots were the heroes of the day. Even in an age of automation, the human element remains aviation's greatest safeguard. Their actions were a masterclass in airmanship. The DGCA's final report was clear improper maintenance and ignored warnings caused the crisis. Air India was ordered to overhaul its safety protocols and retrain staff. The incident was a wake-up call for the airline and its new owners. Promises of reform followed, but public trust had been shaken. The AI-171 emergency showed how small oversights can snowball into disaster. It was a story of failure on the ground but success in the air. The lesson: aviation safety depends on relentless diligence at every level. Every log entry, every routine check, every decision matters. Complacency has no place in aviation. The events of that day are a permanent reminder of what's at stake. The safety of every flight depends on a culture of vigilance, one that must never be compromised.